So if this indicator flashes, which could be within the next month or two, this could provide us with one of the best buying opportunities you will ever have on Bitcoin. Hey everyone, so we're going to take a look at Bitcoin today and have a look at this key signal that, if it flashes, could very well mark out the bottom of the bear market and provide one of the best buying opportunities that you are very likely going to have on Bitcoin in years gone by.
Holy shit!
So if that sounds like something that is going to be good for you, go ahead and drop me a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment with what you are currently doing with Bitcoin, what altcoins you are holding, and without further ado, let's crack on with the video. So if this indicator flashes, which could be within the next month or two, this could provide us with one of the best buying opportunities you will ever have on Bitcoin. And if we bring Bitcoin up on the weekly chart, that indicator is the crossover of the 50-week moving average and the 100-week moving average. Now, these two indicators combined are going to give us a good indication of where this bottom might be. And if we have a look at history, that shows us that whenever we have had a crossover back here in 2015 in the last bear market, when no one was paying attention, we had a drop of 46% from both of this crossover to the downside, and that marked out the bottom, or very, very close to the bottom on Bitcoin, okay? And you didn't even have to wait for that massive first capitulation move down, and that was a 47% drop. And if we move forward back into 2019 February, we also got exactly the same thing in the last bear market, where we got this crossover and we had a downside action of exactly 47% to the T, and this pretty much got the bottom, okay? It didn't get the exact bottom, but no one cares if back then, if you bought Bitcoin at 3,200 or you bought it at 3,500, you pretty much bought the bottom. And what are we getting currently over here? We are getting, okay, going to get some sort of crossover between the 50-week moving average in green and the green 100-week moving average in blue. And you can see that if this was to occur at some point around that August-September area, okay, and we get that 46% downside action, okay, that is going to put us anywhere, okay, at about that 20,000, just above that 20,000 dollar area on Bitcoin. And if we use this in confluence with our 200-week moving average, okay, because that is also something that we're looking out for, we can again speculate that we're probably going to get some sort of bottom towards the latter end of the year. And even if we account for some sort of diminished returns and we get anywhere between $41,000, okay, that could very well be the bottom on Bitcoin. So that's why we're looking at those lower to mid 20,000 targets and potentially start taking out this 25,000 area. But like I said, maybe a little bit later, because I think we still got a good chance we can correct the upside, but we'll go through some of the scenarios in a moment. Important to note as well that in the last two bear markets, just before this crossover, we did manage to get an ultimate bottom at about 70 to 90 days or 100 days before that crossover. And if we got something similar over here, okay, even around September, August time, okay, that might give us some kind of ultimate low of around, pretty soon. It could be sometime around June, July. So that's also something that I'm looking out for on Bitcoin, to put in its potential capitulation or ultimate low for this bear market cycle. In order to stay one step ahead of the market, I've identified another two indicators that are very likely to flash to give us that extra confluence and confidence, okay, that we're going to be likely towards or at the bottom of the bear market for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And those two indicators are the 200-week moving average, which we have not yet hit, which is also another reason why I think that we're probably going to go lower than $25,500. Maybe not quite yet, but like I said, maybe towards the latter end of the year, maybe when we get this crossover over here. And the other one is the continued weakness in Ethereum in particular at the moment, and altcoins and BTC dominance. So we need to see a lot more of these altcoins flushed out. And how can we identify as and when that's going to happen? Well, pretty much the way that we've basically been staying on track with the market so far. So you can see that we've said for the last 3-4 months, okay, you need to be Bitcoin heavy, okay, or have a cash position and don't take too much risk with the altcoins, because you can see over here that as Bitcoin is actually staying roughly the same price today, you can see that most of the altcoins are somewhere between 2 to 8% down on the day versus Bitcoin. So the other thing that I'm looking at is, you know, when we have a look at the BTC dominance chart, we have speculated that we are likely to get above this yellow line, and you can see that we're impulsively moving. Guys, I've been saying this since we were down here, okay, right, all the way down here at about 40%, okay, that Bitcoin needs to start taking the reins, whether we move to the upside or the downside. And once we start getting this, you know, crossover on this yellow line, I would imagine that that is going to be the absolute start of you know, the next sort of accumulation phase for the altcoins, although that will probably be a little bit early. But like I said, we're looking for 48%, but also in particular I'm looking for Ethereum to make a lower low, okay, and show some continued weakness, which it is showing weakness. So if we just get rid of some of these moving averages, okay, on Ethereum, and you can see that whilst Bitcoin has been hovering quite a bit above its low over here that it made on the 13th of May, you can see that Ethereum has pretty much almost double tapped that region, which tells me that it still wants to move a little bit lower. And once I see those targets starting to be met on Ethereum, where we start to take out some of the liquidity under here and some of these lows, and maybe tap into these order blocks over here, okay, that is also going to tell me that we're going to be moving towards the bottom of the bear market. So we want the crossover, we want the 200-week moving average touched, okay, and if we can see these other lower price targets, okay, in these altcoins hit, this is going to give me massive confluence. And obviously if Ethereum and Bitcoin drop, and Ethereum drops harder than Bitcoin, you can definitely expect all the other altcoins such as Solana, Cardano, BNB, Polkadot to fall even harder than Ethereum and to really hit some of those lower prices. So I think once the altcoins make another 50, 60, 70% move to the downside, I think it's likely that we're going to be you know, moving towards the next market cycle bottom. As we're about halfway through the video, please like it, subscribe. That's the only way that you're going to be able to follow my journey and what I'm doing. And if that sounds good to you and you can follow me and learn how to profit from this bear market for that next massive run, like I said, subscribe, like the video. That's going to help me out. That's going to help you out. And without further ado, let's crack on. Now, quick one on the short-term levels for Bitcoin. Pretty much as I suspected, I was expecting the DXY to correct, okay, at this level and potentially tap some of these order blocks, which it's moving down towards. So I think that this downside move and this correction in the DXY will still likely give Bitcoin a chance to move back to the upside from here. And I am expecting, okay, like I said, potential like shakeouts and liquidity grabs down over here in this you know, $25,000 to $27,000 area, potentially undercut that. But by the way that the DXY is looking, I think that we can still chop around here and still move back over here to the upside and test these major resistances at 37,000 to 33,000, okay. And I think, like I said, that we will not get above over here 48,000 as an absolute high. And we've obviously got the CME gap down over here, which I do think is important to note. So maybe we can tap into some of the liquidity at about 35,000, at which point I would expect the bears to start reversing control and moving down into you know, the continuation of the accumulation phase. So like I said, maybe we get a move up here into 35,000, or maybe we grind up a little bit higher, okay, maybe have a little rally to revert to the mean, because whenever we are so far away from our 200-day moving average, we do tend to have some kind of bounce or reaction, okay, which we haven't yet had. And then maybe we either, you know, tap into these areas over here, maybe take out a few more lows, where we saw the lows at 25,500 on the 13th of May, and then really start to move deeper into that next accumulation phase. And that next accumulation phase for me is likely going to be somewhere in this box between about 33,000 all the way down to 14,000, but we know that there's no guarantee that we get down to $14,000, so we start to ladder in buys, or this is what I'm doing. I'll be laddering buys anywhere under $25,000 because I already bought some at 27.2, and I'll buy some more at about 22, 21, and so forth and so forth. And I expect that my limit orders that are set at those really low regions at $14,000, $18,000, $12,000, okay, will not get met. And then once we start to form some sort of accumulation pattern, then I'm happy to put some of these orders, okay, down here that I've got that will likely not get met, and just buy and accumulate at prices that I'm happy with. Like I said, is likely to be somewhere between $32,000 and $22,000. Anywhere over here I think is going to be a good price. Just do the math if you think that you're going to $200,000 like I do for the next market cycle. So I hope you got some value from that video, and the take home points are: potential crossover is going to flash a signal for a bear market bottom. It has done on the last 2 occasions. We know that we want to see further downside action in the altcoins, and a lot of these smaller altcoins flushed out of the system, okay, to basically really kickstart and you know, give us a platform for that next boom phase for crypto. And we want to see that 200-week moving average potentially get touched as well. If we get 3 of those, that's going to be an incredible buying opportunity for Bitcoin, in my opinion. So until the next video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video.